In a previous video, I talked about wear marks on a Victor machine, and this comes out of a VIC-10. And what we did was we machined down the surfaces here on the end plates on all ends of the spring barrels, repacked the springs, and rebuilt everything as normally. But what I want to talk about is, I've talked about the Hootie grease and then making some with green grease, with graphite. And on this one, when you lubricate the spindle shaft in the spring barrel drive gear, you don't have to go way down here. You just have to put enough here at the top where the gear catches it. And the reason I'm using this mixture of green grease, a little bit of graphite, and a pinch of oil to make it smooth out a little, because it's kind of hard to stir up, instead of the Hootie that I originally was using, because I'm always looking for a better product and a better way to make a phonograph run better. And this is working very well on this. So what I've done, get the grease off the fingers, is I've greased this with that mixture of green grease and graphite and oil. And you can see how it's embedded into the gears here. And that makes it run a lot smoother. And then I put a little on the winding crank mechanism. I also put a little on the governor drive gear here, because sometimes this governor drive gear off the spindle shaft, they make a whining, grinding noise. And we're looking at over 100 years of use, and this machine had some use. And that'll quiet your machine down instead of using petroleum jelly. This is working like petroleum jelly, but it's a little bit smoother and it's filling the gear. Like my fingers are gear teeth. So gears don't bottom out, they run like this. So we're getting the oil and graphite in here on these teeth, and that helps reduce the sound. And with doing all this work and polishing and stuff we talked about in the previous video, you can take this motor and just go one, there it goes. Now you listen, it's extremely quiet. And it's running very, very well. You always, after a rebuild like this, you want to crank them up all the way, get the grease to move in and around in the spring barrels, and everything's lubricated. Probably 50 years down the road, you'll have to come back in. It's like a clock, because these are called a clockwork motor. They run like a clock. You have to take it all apart and re-oil it and lube it and stuff. But using the STP in here and on the spindle shaft, we put STP on this shaft here, the spring barrel shaft that goes through, but by adding STP in here and over in here on this part of the casting, the oil will stay there longer. It won't kind of run out, thin out like the sewing machine oil. And it'll help your motors run a lot better. Next video, I'm going to show you how to do the Victor speed control on these, and that'll be very interesting. And that's my tip for the day.